The Syrian regime's defense ministry says 4 of its soldiers were killed in an Israeli missile strike on the capital, Damascus. 3 others were hurt. Regime media says Israel has carried out hundreds of airstrikes in Syria since the war began in 2011. They've targeted regime positions as well as allied Iran-backed forces and bases, in addition to fighters from the Lebanese Shia group Hezbollah.
As it stands, it is a bit quiet, and not just in the sense that there are no more attacks ongoing, but the fact that there are very few to little statements coming out with respect to the attacks as well. Israel has not yet commented on the attacks. We do have information coming out of the Syrian opposition front with respect to the Syrian Observatory for Human Rights, as well as the Syrian state media. And they suggest that at least 4 of 9 casualties are confirmed. This is the Syrian state media. The Syrian Observatory for Human Rights says that that is not the case, in respect that 5 Syrian and 4 Iranian-backed militias were killed in these raids. Now, Israel or Tel Aviv has not yet commented on the nature of these air raids, but it is not unlikely that these attacks were carried out against ammunition depots as well as military infrastructure in the region, something that Israel has been doing since the very start of the war. There is a level of ambiguity with respect to Tel Aviv's aspirations in Syria and what they are. Like I said, there are not many statements coming out of Tel Aviv, and it's not just the case for this recent attack, but it has been the case for the hundreds and hundreds of attacks that it has carried out in the region over the last few years or even last decade. But what is interesting is the fact that it does so. The only statement that did come out of Tel Aviv a while back was that Iranian presence in the region is a red line for Israel, hinting that it will do anything to protect its border security as well as the lives of Israeli citizens in the process. There has been fire coming from Damascus targeting areas in Israel. This is according to the Israeli government. But there is a level of ambiguity as to what those aspirations are.